Well, hello again. Hope I'm more or less in the middle. I can't really see the viewfinder. It's the 21st of December, Saturday, 21st of December 2024. So it's time for a weekly update of the E.T. is here piffle peddling nonsense that I've seen this week. So more nails in the E.T. is here coffin. Now, I haven't heard this before, but Robert Salas, apparently Malmstrom Air Force Base, E.T.'s shutting down our nukes. When, of course, nothing of the kind happened. It was just doing some maintenance. It was an electrical fault. Nothing whatsoever to do with E.T. But people have got bored with that story, so I saw him recently, and he was saying that, I think it was in the 80s, 1986 or something, Robert Salas was abducted by aliens. He was abducted by aliens from his bedroom. It's a standard old story. He's lying in bed, floated out through the window. They didn't even bother opening the window. They just floated him through the window and took him onto a spacecraft, where they put him on a table and they examined him and they took semen samples from him. Looking at him, I can understand why. He's a good-looking rooster, isn't he, Robert Salas? Then they let him off and put him in a cubicle. Now, no one has ever asked, when people tell these stories, no one has ever asked them, why. Oh, these were 4-foot greys, by the way, that abducted him. 4-foot greys, 4-foot tall grey aliens. No one ever asked these people, when you're on the spacecraft, why do the little 4-foot tall critters need cathedral ceilings? In a spacecraft, where space is of a premium, you wouldn't expect someone 6 foot tall to be able to walk around without any problem. You'd be walking around like that when you're on the alien spacecraft. You'd be you'd be bent over double on all fours, like in the cartoons, on your toes and on your fingertips, walking around the alien spacecraft, because the critters are so small. Why would they have cathedral ceilings in their spacecraft? It's all drivel, isn't it? So that's Robert Salas, and I thought by telling that story, he's making the first story sound even less credible. I didn't believe it anyway. But that's put some nails into the coffin of, some more nails into the coffin of the E.T. is here piffle peddlers. It's drivel, isn't it? It's just complete and utter rubbish. Oh, it's 2 pages there. I've just covered 2 pages. It's going to be a short one, I think, this one. So, humans, adult humans, are not going to be able to be comfortably led around inside a spaceship built for 4-foot tall critters. That's what I think, anyway. I think it's bullshit, all of it. Now, it's Christmas. A lot of the drone sightings that are actually drones, most of them aren't, are probably delivery drones. Did Amazon get around to getting their delivery drone fleet working? Deliveries are done with drones. It's the time of year you order something on the internet and the drone will deliver it, Most of them are not drones. I saw this guy on one of his channels, on one of these, this guy's a dyed-in-the-wool fanboy, absolutely hopeless, zero critical thinking ability. Sounds like a cartoon character, you probably know what I mean. He's going, oh, yeah, this is really a, I can't do the voice. Look at this, and it showed some footage of what was obviously a civilian airliner. You could even see the vertical fin with the lights on it, showing what airline it was. If you enhance the picture, you could tell what airline it was. This is so-so from so-so. Wow, we got this clip here of this really weird-looking, isn't that a weird-looking craft, And it was an airliner. Anyone could see, a 5-year-old would be able to tell it was an airliner. And I thought, this guy's got zero critical thinking ability. He does these videos quite frequently. Sounds like a cartoon character, you probably know what I mean. So, I think the drone story is going to fizzle into the background pretty quickly over Christmas, and that'll be that. Apparently Jason Sands, now I looked at this ages ago and I said, Jason, put a line through Jason Sands, complete waste of time. I'm only mentioning it here for a bit of padding really, because there is so little going on. You know, Jason Sands was apparently featured in James Fox's The Programme documentary. I've said it before, put a line through James Fox. You know, gullible fanboy. Zero critical thinking ability. And Jason Sands was apparently saying that he's done the Tenon back, is it? The one that what Corey Good was talking about? You know, another. I wouldn't give these people the time of day. You know, Corey Good, Dave Wilcock, Jason Sands, all this bloody rubbish. It's just ridiculous. And apparently he's featured, is he, in James Fox's? I'm not going to pay for the James Fox's documentary, that's for sure. It's bound to turn up on YouTube eventually when he realises people aren't going to buy any more of them. And I'll do a critique. I can almost do a critique without watching it. It's going to be rubbish. There you go. There's my critique. Anyway, Jason Sands, he says that you know, apart from he's been to Mars, of course. Who hasn't? You know, I was there during the week. Did a bit of Christmas shopping. You know, I bought some. I bought some chocolates and stuff like that. You know, and when I got back, it was they only weighed. It only weighed 38% of what was on the packet. Oh dear. Anyway, Jason Sands said he had to kill some aliens, blue aliens, outside Area 51. He was commanded to kill some blue aliens. I mean, this is just getting more and more pathetic every day, isn't it? I mean, really? Killing aliens? I mean, if aliens did turn up and you killed them, what do you think would happen? Really? Thing to do is ask them if they can eat cheese sandwiches. You know, cheese and pickle sandwich. Would you like a drink? You know, why would you feel the need to kill them? Why? You know, you could probably give them a sandwich and a cup of tea, and they'd fly away. They'd say, "Yeah, nice to meet you. You know, we're from the planet Tharg, from the Krillian star system. Bit of a chinwag," and they'd fly home, fly away. Why would you need to kill them? Absolute bloody rubbish. So Jason Sands, waste of time, fantasy fanboy, personal opinion, put a line through Jason Sands. Anyone that says Jason Sands is credible, because they won't be. So this, apparently the only way he could get out of the programme, this is Jason Sands, was to kill some aliens. Now, the only way to get out of the programme was to kill some aliens. Now, that makes zero sense. Why would you want to kill them in the first place? If I was working with aliens, I don't think I would want to get out of the programme, because I think that would be quite interesting, don't you? Why would you want to get out of the programme? I'd be quite happy to stay in the programme, work with the aliens, have a chat to them, so we could suss out about, you know, where they come from, the sort of places they live in. You know, do they have cars or something like cars? They're probably not going to tell us. They're probably not going to tell us how their propulsion system works. And who was it? Was it Gary Nolan was saying that he's been told by these people that when they looked on board, you know, they couldn't find a propulsion system. They couldn't find an energy source. You know? But I mean, they would obviously find equipment that was able to, and if it worked by using dark energy, they would find the equipment that sucks in the dark energy and converts it into some sort of energy they can use, or sucks in the dark energy and uses the dark energy. You know, they might not use electricity. They might use dark energy to warp space. It's a lot easier to say there was no power source, you know, and describe it no further, because once you start describing it, you're getting into the serious realms of science fiction, where people are going to try and figure out, and some people that know what they're talking about are going to try and figure out if this could possibly work, what this could possibly be. Well, I hope you can't hear that in the background. A piece of ham radio gear that's just fired up in the background. I thought I'd switch that off, but obviously I did not. I can't be bothered to edit it out, really. I mean, I've had a very busy day. It's, what's 3:30 in the afternoon? Very, very hot here. I've been very busy today, doing lots of physical work. So, you know, who really still thinks, Jason Sands and James Fox have any credibility? Anybody? Really? Put your hand down, Jenkins. Stupid boy. They don't. They have zero credibility. Okay, so apparently the control group is working with one alien species, and they're getting them to shoot down another alien species spacecraft. Now, presumably that's because we would have a chance of shooting down an alien spacecraft. Anyone tells you we're shooting down alien spacecraft, put a line through them. They're bullshitting. It's not, with the technology they would need to get here from across the galaxy, we are not going to be able to shoot them down. The detection and avoidance systems will be such that we would not have a chance of shooting them down. So apparently we're contracting now another alien species so that they shoot them down. Does that make any sense to anybody, really? For a start, why would you want to be? You're not going to want to shoot down any alien spacecraft that comes here. You're going to find out what it wants first, aren't you? And the chances of starting an interstellar war between two alien species by getting one alien species to attack the other, I would say, is zero. There's probably more chance of that. Well, there's probably more chance of me winning the Powerball Lotto every week for a whole year than there is of that actually happening. It's ludicrous, I mean, they're dredging up all kinds of absolute drivel to try and keep this ridiculous nonsense going, As I've said before, they're trying to get a few PSI into the ET is here balloon every other day. More and more credibility is hemorrhaging from these stupid stories. Someone, who was it? Somebody referenced, it was Carl Nell. Yeah, it was Carl Nell. With all his aerospace background, he was a member of the UAP task force, and he knows ET's here because people in the intelligence business have told him. And he spouted a load of cases that have been debunked. The Nimitz videos, and it's all been debunked. And he mentioned the Ariel school incident, in South Africa. The Ariel school incident. No one ever says Cynthia Hind, a local UFO investigator, interviewed the children almost immediately after it happened. There was no mention of all these eco messages that they were telling John Mack about 2 weeks later. And that's a recurring theme with John Mack. I think he went there and he probably spoke to them and said, look, did the aliens say anything about... Well, most of the people that interact with aliens, they tell this story about eco, you got to look after the planet, you've got to be eco warriors. And I think that's what happened there. And I think not one of those kids, by the way, grew up to be an eco-warrior, so the aliens wasted their time. If you look at the drawings done by the kids at Ariel School, they show the alien spacecraft under the tree canopy. There's the tree canopy. As if it was driven along the ground, under the tree canopy. The kids described the aliens as possibly wearing scuba diving suits, and their faces were expressionless as though they were wearing masks. Come on, guys, Obviously the kids were pranked. There was a cave diving school up the road. One of the kids drew the alien spacecraft with double doors at one end, just like a Toyota Coaster bus, the sort of bus that a local cave diving company might operate. These people have got no critical thinking ability, no idea whatsoever. Now, I saw Gary Nolan. He's doing some serious backpedaling. Someone asked him about, when he saw the aliens in his bedroom as a kid. They were there for weeks on end. He went, well, it could have just been a dream. Get out of jail free. Hey, Gary. Yeah. Could have just been a dream. Could have just been a dream. What do you think is more likely? It was a dream? Or aliens cross the galaxy and spend weeks on end standing around in Gary Nolan's bedroom, looking through the windows at him? As I've said before, this is like the Enterprise flying through space, and they find a planet that's inhabited, and they say, okay, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a kid at random, and we're gonna beam down into his bedroom, and everyone's going, oh, not again, oh, really? And he says, Bones, Scotty, Spock. You're going, oh, really? And they've got to beam down, and they've got to stand there for 3 weeks, okay? Every night for 3 weeks. Scotty, you can be outside, you can be looking through the window. But Captain, really, I was looking through the window last time, Captain. It's pathetic nonsense, isn't it? Absolute bloody drivel. What this guy should have asked him was, because Gary Nolan made a similar claim when he was an adult. This happened when he was an adult, only happened once. It was just before he was about to start his job as a professor at Stanford. Alien appeared in his bedroom, communicated with him telepathically. Should be asked about that. Was that a dream too, Gary? Well, that could have been a dream, yeah, as well, too, yeah. Now, it's complete and utter rubbish, and it should be kicked into touch, along with every experiencer story that does not come with a selfie of the experiencer and their best pal alien. If there's no tangible evidence, if there's no selfie, it didn't happen. It's a dream, isn't it? It's a dream, So, yeah, just like every other experiencer, it's all bloody rubbish. It's a dream. Yeah, it didn't really happen. It's a dream. So, Nolan also says anonymous sources within the program. This is the reverse engineering program. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's really hot. My legs are getting so hot in these jeans out here with the sun beating down. He said that anonymous sources in the program have told him he's not getting hold of any ET material to analyse. He's not no effing way. He's not getting any ET material to analyse. Why is that, I wonder? Doesn't exist, possibly. And he says they're always anonymous sources. He never says, these guys told me that they have ET material at this address. He knows what the address is. He said, I know the address where this material is being held. Now, but they won't let him see it. Now, if somebody told me that, they knew this particular address, there was ET materials inside, but I had to take their word for it, I would say it's science fiction rubbish until proven otherwise. If I can't see it, it's not real. That's what I would say. I wouldn't repeat it as truth like Gary Nolan is doing. Who are these, who are the people in the program? Why are they not named? Is it because we will recognise the names? Is it the names of people that were involved with ORSAP? Or the TTSA? Or Skinwalker Ranch? Are these people the people that were involved with all that bullshit? Because that's exactly what it was. Bullshit. TTSA, send us your money. We'll build a starship. Eric Davis helped put off, says, we can do it in the afternoon. Piece of cake. All bullshit. There's no starship. What happened to the money? Mr. DeLong. What happened to the cash? So are these people the same names? Is it the same group of names that have been in the background of this, telling these science fiction stories for decades, for years? You know, is it David Grush? People in the program, anonymous sources. So we ever hear from Ross Coulthard as well, isn't it? You know, can't name them because as soon as they do, we're going to know it's all rubbish. I say, well, the anonymous source, yeah, it was Carnell. Yeah. It was Hal Puthoff. It was Eric Davis. It was James Lukatsky. It was Jay Stratton. Elizondo. Lou Elizondo. You know, the primo investigator for the ATIP program at the Pentagon. Can't tell the difference between an alien mothership and a chandelier. But he's their top investigator, inside source. Was it Lou Elizondo? Put a line through all these people. They're just bullshitters. Personal opinion. So Gary Nolan, I think, lacks... He's obviously brilliant at what he does in his professional life. When it comes to this stuff, he seems to have zero critical thinking ability. He's being led down the garden path by the nose and fed a pile of steaming bullshit. And he's repeating that as truth. Put a line through Gary Nolan. I've said it before. When it comes to this subject, I'm not talking about his professional life obviously, when it comes to this subject, put a line through Gary Nolan. He's a complete waste of time. He's a fanboy, got a poster on the wall, he wants to believe. Lacks the critical thinking to be able to tell when he's being fed a steaming pile. So, so it'd be good to find out who these anonymous sources are, these intelligent sources. You know, Ross Coulthard's got, Gary Nolan's got. Are they all the same sources? Are they the people, as I've said, we would recognise the names immediately and put a line through them? Nick Pope also has been talking to his intelligence sources inside the intelligence industry, his sources. Nick Pope. I wonder if when they cremate Nick Pope, they're going to be looking for white smoke coming out of the chimney. He's looking a bit seedy, Nick Pope. He's been told by intelligence insiders, the same people that Gary Nolan knows by any chance. Sorry, I've just said that, but that was a note I made here. I don't want to waste it. Now, apparently these insiders have told Nick Pope that something is going to happen within the next couple of years. Well, that's profound, Nick. That's really profound. Something is going to happen within the next couple of years. Presumably he's talking about ET related. ET's going to turn up, land on the White House lawn. Disclosure. It's finally going to be announced that we're not alone, you know, that ET's coming here. Actually, that we're not alone may be announced within the next year or two. So if you recall, what was his name? And Nick Pope did actually mention this. He did say that the James Webb telescope may have detected ET, and they're sitting on the information for now. Now, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. That, of course, does not mean they're coming here. I think Nick Pope even said that. You know, this planet, they've got quite a lot of interest in this planet. It's 120 light years away. And Cambridge University professor Niku, I'm going to kill this name, I'm sure. There's no offence meant, Professor. Niku Madhusudan at Cambridge University. He's a real astrophysicist, a real professor at Cambridge University. He's not some fake plastic professor, fake plastic wannabe professor like Simon Ogwash, trying to kid everyone on he's a senior academic when he's no such thing. Most of what Hogwash puts out is exactly that. It's technically inaccurate, science fiction rubbish, most of it. Put a line through it. And people thank him for educating them because they don't understand it either. Oh dear, the plastic fake Professor Hogwash. You should be ashamed of yourself, Hogwash. Anyway, this real professor has said they're looking at a planet 120 light years away, and they're looking for possible biosignatures. Now, if they're looking for biosignatures, chances are they'll be looking for technosignatures as well. I mean, it seems pointless, doesn't it? Do one without the other. James Webb, I think, is capable of looking for both at the same time. Now, he did say that he was hoping, this is the Professor Niku at Cambridge University, did say some months ago that he rather hoped he will be able to make an announcement that life had been found beyond Earth by Christmas this year, 2024. And it's all gone very quiet. But apparently this planet, it needs 5 passes between the star and the James Webb Space Telescope to be able to get enough data to be able to definitively say whether what they're seeing in the atmosphere is caused by life. It may be that they've had those 5 passes and they're still not sure. They might need more data, but of course you've got to wait for the planet to go all the way around the star again and come back and give you another spectral display to look at. So, ET, life beyond Earth being found may very well be announced within the next year or two, but that has nothing whatsoever to do with ET coming here, floating people through their bedroom windows, standing around watching your kids at night, so you don't have to. That's all complete and utter bullshit, and anyone tells you otherwise, just put a line through them. Say, prove it with tangible evidence, or STFU. I'm really not interested in listening to your science fiction stories. That's for every experiencer. Get a selfie with your favourite alien mate. Some kind of evidence. Or it's bullshit. Of course, it's all bullshit. ET's not going to come here and float someone through a bedroom window. If ET made the trip to Earth, they would want to talk to people, significant people. They probably want to talk to the UN, They fly over a few cities to get people, so everybody's aware they're here. They might land on the White House lawn, or land in Red Square, or Tiananmen Square. It's going to be something. They're not going to be abducting Bubba the lumberjack, or a failed contractor. I mean, contracting business has failed. Ooh, I better have an interaction with some aliens so I can write a book so I can keep my head above water financially, It's not going to happen. It's nonsense. So keep an eye out. I'm sure it'd be fairly big news if the Cambridge professor is confident enough to make that announcement. If they've got enough data from the James Webb that they can make an announcement there is definitely life beyond Earth. Be big news, I would imagine. If that species 120 light years away is in fact a techno-species, chances are they would still have some radio gear around. Chances are they would come to the same conclusion we did. I forgot to set the timer. With the hydrogen and hydroxyl lines, if you look at the microwave spectrum between 1 and 2 gigahertz, it's a bit of a dip in the noise floor there, the microwave noise floor. And if you look at it with a radio telescope or reasonably sensitive radio receiver, you can see the 2 spikes, the hydrogen line and the hydroxyl line. The hydrogen line at 1.4 gigs approximately, and the hydroxyl line at 1.6 gigs. And anyone's going to think somewhere in that window, that water hole, if you want to communicate across the galaxy, that's where you're going to do it, if you want to attract anybody's attention. So if we sent a signal in that water hole saying, hey, this is Earth calling, we probably want to do it with a nice accent. We wouldn't want to say, this is Earth calling, because we don't want to rattle anyone's cage. So this is Earth calling, okay? 120 years from now, assuming they're looking in the water hole, they've spotted this spike come up and they're waiting for it. Actually, if they've spotted it, then it's already there, isn't it? So they'll then demodulate it and they'll hear the message. Hello, this is Earth calling. Now, assuming they could translate that, and they probably would be able to, I think. And they decided to send a reply. I mean, they might not. They might say, turn the lights off, everyone. We don't want anyone to know we're here. But if they decided to reply, it'd be another 120 years before we got the reply. And the reply could be, you know, hello, this is the planet Tharg. Or keep off the grass. We've seen your TV. Don't come here, Earth people. Please. Any of your spacecraft orbiting our planet will be considered hostile. We've seen what's going on around your planet. So that's pretty much it. There may well be an announcement in the next year or two. Life has been found beyond Earth. Nothing whatsoever to do with ET coming here. Nobody's being abducted and being floated through windows. Nobody's experiencing, nobody's interacting with ET. Unless proven so with tangible evidence. It's all complete and utter bullshit. With that, if you've struggled through the video all the way to this point, many thanks for watching as usual. And maybe I'll catch you again.